Hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday from Malibu. It's been so warm and delicious here. I'm coming live to you here on my personal page on Facebook. I usually do that once a week. As some of you may or may not know, I am doing, it first was a 365-day live, and then I changed it to coming live once a week on all of my social pages, and I started that June 15th. So now we're June, July, August, September, October. Wow, almost 5 months that I've been coming live. And the intention is to just get to know you guys better and connect more, because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes in our lives. And when we post something, it's kind of like a snapshot. And this week I did get feedback that some people have felt, and even friends have shared, that they feel like who I really am is not expressed in my social channels. And so I'm doing my best to really share more of who I am, because I really feel that I have a mission to reach millions of people for the awakening and healing of humankind. And as some of you may know, I had a spiritual awakening back in 2012. It was happening gradually as I was traveling the world, and I was in medical school, and I just started going through these changes, and it's still happening now. And it's forever. It's a forever becoming. I feel spiritual awakening is happening forever if we're devoted to the path. And I feel that my commitment to my greatest becoming, my personal development, my spirituality, my healing, my transformation is such a priority in my life. And I practice what I preach. So I'm a practitioner of what I preach. So I love personal development. Everyone in my life knows, I love it. I love meditating. I love rituals. I love energy work. I love it so much. It's a part of who I am. And then with that, it's my work is just being who I am. And I love inspiring and igniting it in other people. And so if you're watching this, I would hope and trust that you would be inspired on your personal development journey. And not from a place of fixing, but rather from a place of I've gotten to know myself so well. I've come to love myself in deeper ways and fully accept myself for who I am, and trust that I'm different, and that's okay. And I want to share 2 of the tools that I have used for my personal development and really coming to learn and know about myself. And the first one is human design, and the second one is gene keys. And actually, I'm going to drop this third one. I'm going to go with Vedic astrology. So let's just go to that one first. So currently, the whole world is subscribing to an astrology system that is erroneous. Let's just put it that way. What do I mean by that? Let's say if it's a full moon night, and I have to remember, there's a butterfly outside. I was like, what is that? It's a butterfly. I have to be mindful of the time because I'm going to a friend's birthday brunch in Beverly Hills. So I will be nice and quick, but the amount of time it takes. So anyway, what I have found is, so let's say if it's a full moon and you have a star app and you go outside and you put the star app to the sky, it will tell you the constellation that moon is sitting in. Right? So if you ever hear people say new moon in Scorpio, that's technically what we just had last week, new moon in Scorpio. No, it wasn't. It was a new moon in Libra. How do we know? You take the star app and you put it to the sky and you see that the moon is in Libra. It's what the sky is telling you. And so the astrology system that is matched to what's going on in the sky right now in present time is Vedic, not Western astrology. So unfortunately, everyone is going by a wrong system. And what happens is when you plug your birthday and your time into Vedic astrology, you could end up becoming a different sign. So I stayed Cancer. My birthday is July 20th, but my rising and my moon changed. So I used to be, thank you, Renee. I used to be a rising Leo and Virgo, and now I'm a rising double Leo. Instead of a double Virgo, I've become double Leo, which kind of makes more sense actually. So if you haven't done your Vedic reading, I highly recommend it. And all the different stars that your planets can be in are more specified. I just think it's more specific and I just love it. And you're gonna probably have an identity shift. So if you haven't done Vedic astrology, definitely do that. The whole world is starting to move towards that. The other thing I recommend is learning. When I learned about my human design, I was like, that makes so much sense. So the truth about me is that I'm a big hermit. I seem very social, right? Like here I am talking to you, but the truth is here I am talking to you in the comfort of my home. I actually leave my house like only 1 to 2 days a week. That's why like for me, like living Malibu beachfront has been so important to me because I work from home. I even have clients come here, like being fully present and in this beautiful incubated space is just like, so delicious. But I was always confused because I am a social person and I would have a lot of friends and I would love to go and do fun things like go to Burning Man like I said, I want to reach millions of people. So how could a hermit want that? And so I learned within human design that I was a 2-4, which 2 is the hermit line and 4 is the opportunist, which means if you put me into a social situation, absolutely, I could be a social butterfly. And I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And guess what? By learning that about myself, I was like, I don't feel like going out on a Saturday night, so I'm not gonna. And I just like allowed myself the freedom to be myself when I learned who I really am. And that's what I feel spiritual awakening is. We're just like learning about ourselves. And any tool that we have that can help us learn about ourselves, I think is so powerful. So then the other one that I learned about, and then the second thing about my human design that I learned is I really need to go with my gut feeling. Someone asked me a question and I'm like, it's probably a no. But if I'm like, yeah, then it's like, yeah. So basically it's like, heck yes, a no, or maybe I need to be asked in a different way. So I really have learned to, instead of overriding what I feel, to go with it. Like, even if everyone is doing it that way, and I'm like, that means no, don't do it. No, that's not your way. That's not for you. So that's been so liberating. So that's why I really invite you to get your human design. You can just go to jovianarchives.com or .org. And then Gene Keys was like the last one. And my Gene Key, my top one is intoxication. And it makes perfect sense. Like, I live a substance-free life. I literally can have so much fun, like dance around like no one's watching, sober. I don't need anything to get high on life. And like, I truly know how to access divine energies to get intoxicated. Someone wrote the importance of power naps. What do you feel is the importance of power naps, Casey? What does that do for you? So what I have found is I have this gift to get high on life, and I literally can transmit it to people. And I ended up creating a course over quarantine about that. And I called it intoxication, because I was like, I don't want to work. Like, I want to have fun only and be in bliss and pleasure only. And that's like the unconventional living that I'm like segueing into, that I just realized more and more, like, I want to do it my way and only my way. Like, I don't care if other people are doing it like this, or the standard of business standards say you need to do it like this. Because recently I was thinking maybe I should hire an operations person. And I'm like, no, why would I do that? That's more work, because then I have to manage someone and talk to them. I was like, let me keep it simple. Like, I'm operating on like literally, let's create businesses and lives that are so pleasurable, that just like fit into our regular lives, that we can do from home. I had a client here for a retreat on Wednesday, and we were on the beach doing an intention ritual. And she was, and I so resonate with this, and I'm sure a lot of you entrepreneurs who work from home resonate with this too. We were kind of like tapping into the future of when all of her manifestations would have been achieved. And we were like pretending as if it happened. And she's like, yeah. And everyone's like, wow, she's so smart. Look, she did all this and she did it in her bed in her pajamas. And it's true. Like, I love working in a robe like all day long. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to come for a live, or I'm gonna come on with a client. But I'm like, I live really unconventionally. I spend most mornings in my bed, like not dressed, like chilling in my bed, doing my work from my phone, texting with my assistant. And I get out of bed like when I'm ready. I do not set alarms. Like, I have created this whole other reality that like I want for everyone. I want everyone to live life and do business in a way that's like so exciting for them. Like, that to me is like, that's epic living. That's ultimate living. And it's not the same for everyone. Like, some people like dream of having like an office, or like just like being able to retire like in 20 years. Great. Like, yeah, if that's great, do that. But for me, it's like in my beautiful home with the ocean, laying in bed, like being able to do other things or rest or relax in between sessions or meetings, working 3 to 4 days a week. Like, that's ideal for me. And I keep saying, like, I'm only going to do it in a way that feels good to me. And part of this has really been like unlearning what society expects. And even what other people say. Like, I don't even like working with like other coaches, because I feel like I know that I love working with me as a coach, because like I really support my clients to like create based on what feels good for them. Like, even yesterday I had a client reach out to me, and she was like, I think we're gonna like buy this school that went bankrupt, and we're gonna like make it into this place where you can rent out all this office space. And mind you, she's like about to open up her 3rd clinic. And I'm like, how does that feel for you? She's like, amazing. Like, we just like, and so she's like expanding into a new level. Like, I'm not there to tell her like how it's supposed to be based on society standards. I like help to bring out people's ultimate potential and ultimate living. And the same is true for me. So I need to constantly like recheck myself. And I only listen to people who are living in a way that I would want to live. I don't care if they have, you know, they're supposed to be the most psychic or the most intuitive. It's what you be like. Like, are you, like, even when I first got a money coach, I was like, who is living Malibu beachfront? I don't even want to talk to you if you're not living Malibu beachfront. Because being an example of what you preach in life, I think is so important. So I do my best to strive to be the embodiment of my teachings and my work. So for people who are interested in like unconventional living ultimate, like never settling, then it's like, yes, you would come to someone like me. If you want to like fit in and do it the way all the studies say, I'm not the person, because like I help people collapse timelines, achieve incredible things that they didn't know they could achieve. So that's what I've been noticing lately. Like, and part of it has been like shutting the mind. Like, for me, it's been like, I need to shut my mind off. I need to stop talking about things and just embody. So it's kind of funny that I actually haven't really wanted to go on social media, because I've been like so present with myself, and like I feel like going through another level of a spiritual awakening that's actually a deeper embodiment, like coming more into my body, into the present, into the pleasure of the moment, being more feminine and receptive. Not talking so much. So it's funny. It's kind of like this oxymoron of like, okay, I'm practicing more of a feminine embodiment, because the mind for me is masculine. The body, being in the body, is more feminine, feeling, because when we're more in our bodies, we're feeling. And so I've really been in this deep like feeling, receiving place. I have not been really wanting to talk so much. You know, and I even was like, I'm not going to hire an operations person. I'm not going to do anything conventional. I decided like, I'm going to create life on my terms, a business on my terms. And I know that my energy is powerful enough to attract in the people who are meant to be in my world. Friendships, beloved, clients, and even courses, right? So some of you may or may not know, I've been creating a different brand new courses every single month, because I have felt like in my travels all around the world, in my spiritual awakening and remembering of past lives, I was like sitting on a treasure chest of like gems that I'm living in my life, like practicing the meditation practices, the rituals, the knowledge about this game of life and the rules to play in this game of life, even my wild manifestations. So it was like, let me create a manifestation course. So I have felt like I am living a wild life that's so beautiful and graceful and like not going by any of society's standards. And for me, that's freedom. And I'm like, I want to help people break out of the matrix to live a free life. And I'm so passionate about that. And so that's why I feel like I'm here to reach millions of people, to share a different way of living. And for some people that's triggering, and I get that. And sometimes I think I'm ahead of the times, like maybe not now, but in 3 years or 5 years, people are gonna get it. And that's usually what's happened, because I hear people talking about things that like I realized in 2013 when I woke up. And because a lot of people, and I've had a lot of like readers or healers tell me like, Nick, you're 20 years ahead. Like people don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh yeah. So sometimes I try to like tone it down, but I think that that's not serving any of us. So beautiful. This live has made me come to a realization and a deeper commitment of myself to just like share who I really am. And I don't need to sugarcoat things or share things in a way that I don't think people are going to understand. Because even if I do talk about something that seems like far out there or a little too mystical or esoteric, I trust that your soul will remember it. So wow, that's so beautiful. I just received a healing from myself in sharing this, and I hope that you did too, that something in today's live touched you. And in terms of the never say never, my God, I'm going to share something so vulnerable. In the never say never. So the new moon was just in Libra. I do need to leave though after this. So I'm not late to the brunch. The new moon was in Libra, which is a very like relationship strong portal, I guess you can say. And I suddenly, and it was funny because 2 of my clients also experienced this. I suddenly received like a ding to like go on a dating app, and I went on Raya, which is like when you have to be approved, and it's like more like people who are in the public eye. And so I'm now on Raya, which I think is fascinating, because I always said like I would never do that I trust synchronicity would bring the person to me. But I realized, because I never leave my house, that I do want to increase the chances of a meeting, and that creates synchronicity. So that's a little fun fact about something that I did. And when you say never, it's just when we say never, it's just not the time now. And the other thing that I once did that was never say never was I have a tapping on my spine. That's a spiritual ancient tattoo form that comes from Polynesian tribes. And it was for healing. And I think I'm actually going to share a whole other live that shares about that actually. But I remember saying like, I will never get a tattoo. How could anyone ever get one? Well, the universe put a situation in front of me, and it was like, now I understand. Never say never. Never just means not right now. Because the moment we evolve, it's like, oh yeah, I open to that. So yeah. So I just wanted to come say hi. I'm live if you're wanting to come into my world. Right now I'm hosting my rituality course. Always connect with me for one-to-one, or my Ultimate Woman program also, which is more like, it receives like one-to-one support. And I'm just definitely in a beautiful phase of sharing my gifts, and so happy to be here with you. I send you so much love. I wish you a beautiful day, and I will see you again here soon. And if you have any questions or anything, just DM me. I'm always happy to chat with you. Thank you for being here, and bye for now.